What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday to you. I hope that your plants are enjoying all the rain if you're in the Midwest. My plants are loving it. I took them all out. I made sure that they were off the porch, and I'm like, go ahead and get that rainwater, babies. I love my plants. But, anyways, someone asked me a question on one of my posts, and he said something like, I'm a foreigner, and it just seems like to me, Black people, it wasn't really a question, it was a statement. He was like, Black people seem to be very protective of Black culture. And, I don't think he felt like it was very helpful for us to be very protective of our culture. And, from my perspective, just assessing America, just in the last 8 years, I'll say, I think it's absolutely necessary for Black Americans to have some sense of protection of their culture, especially when, you are more awakened and you realize what has happened to this community over the decades with the psychological manipulations. I've talked about this in previous videos. There's a lot of psychological manipulation going on within the Black community, with generational rhetoric. But then you also have these critical theories and idealisms that are continuously perpetuated through different institutions in America about Black people. And I think it's all kind of come to a head where there's a lot of Black people who are waking up and they're realizing that a lot of the projections about us are not only not coming from Black people, they are also very much funded. And they are intentional to inflame the senses, the mindset, and self esteem of Black people. And when you realize that even Black people or Black looking people can be on board with these type of harmful projections that over the time just really demoralizes a generation of people, you realize that, when you wake up and you see it, you have to take some control over it if you are associated with that group. So I can't really say I grew up as a pro blackity black person. I don't think I even grew up with the construct of Blackness. There were aspects about Black people, and Black idealism that my mom, over her experience, found to be very harmful. And so we were taught not to buy into those ideas and those projections. So, I think everybody is raised differently. I think that the Black American experience is going to look different from one Black person to the other. But I do think that that conversation that arose from that Kendrick and Drake beef was very legitimate, because I think it really opened the doors for more conversations about how Black people are being projected, who is buying into the projections of Black people, and even what is authentically Black. And so the conversation between, somebody mentioned why Kendrick's wife, who is also biracial, is more culturally Black than Drake, because she was actually raised in the Black culture. She wasn't raised in this other culture longing for her Black culture. And again, when it comes to conversations about Black biracial people, it just becomes a gray area for me personally, because I think that they are running on their own experiences, and I'm going to reiterate it, and I stand firm on this based off of my experience with them. Some of them, not all of them, but many of them, they felt some sense of cultural dysphoria, and especially if they were raised around, if they were a Black and other mix and they weren't raised around the Black side, right? There's always that perplexity of being around Black people sometimes for some of these people, or even the desire. Because, you got your, Meghan Merkel's. I think she said something to the fact that she didn't even realize that she was Black until she got with Harry. I mean, some people aren't running around with their identity on their sleeves. And I think Black people have been conditioned to do that a lot. And the identity that they wear on their sleeves is really a product of the projections, manufacturing of ideals and stereotypes and bias about Black people that many buy into. And so a lot of people think, well, that is Blackness. And so when people make the comment that Black people are being more protective of the Black image, and even who is speaking on Black people issues, their Black background, I think it's important for people to understand that this is necessary because there's a lot of Black looking people that can be paid to speak as if they are a Black person, but they are an immigrant coming into the culture of Black America. And just by de facto colorization, right, they do get lumped up with us, but at the same time, they are not culturally the same. And there are some immigrants who come here and they want to be, immersed in the Black American culture. And I think that that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I think what really, and even, who can speak on the Black experience in America when, again, immigrants are lumped into the same bucket as us a lot of times just by the complexion. A lot of times, because the white supremacist, just like Tariq Nasheed doesn't want to delineate against the white supremacists, you know, they don't want to delineate against us. And I think, the immigrants' conversation, their argument is legitimate when they get lumped up into realities of foundational Black Americans as well, which often happens because, again, Tariq, the white supremacists are not delineating against us either, right? And delineation is something that I've been hearing a lot of content creators, to talk about, who is a foundational Black American, why are foundational Black Americans and other Black looking people from other nations who come to America, why are we culturally different? Why are we different? And you hear some of them speak, and they even remove themselves from the idealisms of Black culture because they don't know Black culture. All they know is what is being projected to them, most of the time through the media, or many of them, obviously, because they're immigrating, they can afford to live in lower income Black neighborhoods where they kind of see a more lower economic reality of Black people. But once those people start elevating, they do see that there are different faces and economic classes to Black Americans, and it's really up to them to make the adjustments to their generalized ideas about Black people. And that goes for anybody, that really goes for anybody. So I just wanted to put this point out because that question was asked. And again, I think that you see a lot of people from all groups protecting aspects of their culture, their image. You've seen groups, for decades, demand that certain aspects of their culture not be projected in certain ways. And Black people really have not had that luxury. And we really have not sort of coalesced to demand that, you need to stop showing us pictures of slaves, right? You need to stop showing us pictures of these civil rights beacons. And I think it's kind of weird. One of my biggest issue with some Black Americans is that we want a predominantly non-Black ran school district teaching our Black children about slavery and other tribal lessons. Like, why would you want that to continue in the public school district? Can somebody explain that to me? Why certain Black parents are just that damn lazy that they will literally give a more times than not white supremacist individual, according to some of these people with these ideologies, the key to, the green light to teach your kid about their Black history? Like, some of these arguments are so nonsensical on their face sometimes. I'm just like, Lord, whenever you want to set all of this on fire, it's cool. It's cool with me. There's that spirit of Jonah, but I'm going to keep helping people to come to some sensibility. Wow. we still have the chance. But anyways, you guys have a wonderful week, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.